What is going on, guys? It's your boy Will here, back with Sad Squad COD. We're back with another league play video, or league play related at least. This is a great Crossroads Strike Hardpoint I played very well, and the theme of today is how to dominate every map of Hardpoint in Black Ops Cold War league play. I think this is really important. I think I'm a dog at Hardpoint, frankly. I know what I'm doing. I know the roles, I know the spawns like the back of my hand, and I honestly can play 3 out of the 4 roles, and in about 20 seconds the roles will come up on screen. But yeah, so today we're going to be going over how to dominate every single map of Hardpoint with the spawns, with the roles, how to win your gunfights, everything under the sun with Hardpoint to get your wins in league play and get up your ladder. So like we said, Hardpoint roles, go ahead and screenshot that if you need it. Shows every single role in Hardpoint that you need. So to start, we're going to go the Sub Slayer and Lurker. Sub Slayer, that's actually what you'll see in this video out of me. I'm normally a sub OBJ, but it's like sub Slay, sub OBJ, sometimes flex, depending on who I'm playing with, depending on what kind of friends I'm playing with. But Slayer Lurker is really like the role that gets all the clout, that's the most fun, easiest to rack up kills. You'll see I drop a 49 bomb in this game, should have been 50, it is what it is. You're basically running around, you're patrolling the hardpoint, you're never in it. You're letting your boys stay in the hardpoint, and you're patrolling. And you're going around just picking up kills, picking up information. You're the first to rotate to next. You're just going around killing people, cleaning up for everyone, getting the points while people are sitting in spawn, getting time. And secondly, we got the OBJ Slayer with this another sub player. They just sit in the hard point, basically. You soak up all the points to the last to rotate, things like that. Then you have your AR Anchor, which is huge, especially with the spawn stuff that I show you in this game. Your AR Anchor is the person who sits back spawn, he rotates third to win spawns, and you just sit back there and tank with your AR. You're mostly using Krig if it's a really small map like Crossroads right here. You may use an XM4, but it's just you got to sit back there and own that spawn point so your team can keep flooding the hard point, flooding. Because if you don't have it, you're going to spawn out, and this map is really hard to hold spawns. You have to pretty much hard block spawns in order to do it. So Anchor, probably the most important role, maybe next to Lurker. Then third, you have your Flex, who's your IGL. They fill in the gaps, basically. You pick your own gun depending on how you're playing and what the map is, and you're kind of just filling in the gaps, playing the right angles, getting the kills, picking up what your team wants you to pick up, and listening to comms more than anything. So with that being said, we're hopping into spawns here. These are P3 and P4 spawn points. I'm holding it right here with the AK-74U. Obviously, don't hold it with the 7.4U. Hold it with an AR. But yeah, so you kind of just play these angles right here. This is the Anchor's role right here. You just got to win these spawns, and spawns are everything in Hardpoint. That is the entire game mode, is winning your spawns. That doesn't matter about your gunfights as much as winning spawns and having map positioning and map control. So here we are showing off P3, P4. P3 is obviously in that building, inside the first building on the left. And then P4 is back in the back. I guess that would be the left side corner of the map. I'm about to show it off right now. I'm going to look at it. I'm looking at P3. And then we're dipping to next. So then here we got P2. This is obviously your OG spawn. Everyone knows both sides of the map. P2 is big here. That's your first initial one. That's right inside that building. It's where you're looking. You have to hold these angles. You got to watch the ice push especially. Your team will probably fill the gaps. A good way to play this is sit on top of those cargo little containers or whatever, and kind of camp up there and play that. But for the most part, yeah, this is a pretty simple spawn. Your boys will probably hold your right and your outer, because that's where P1 is. So P2 is right off of outer, which means everyone's going to be rotating off there. You just have to watch your cat, call for the flank comms, and then you have to watch your ice, because that's going to be a big one. But a lot of times the sub OBJ will pick up ice. But yeah, so that's the spawns for Crossroads Strike. We're going to go back into the game here. Another big thing is your Lurker needs to pick up information. Even if he dies constantly, you guys are getting outslayed, your Lurker's getting outslayed, he needs to just pick up info. He needs to play his angles properly and do the right things. He needs to play his angles properly, do the right things, get in position, win kills, and it's important for him to contest, especially if you guys are losing hard points. He's the first to rotate, so OBJ Flex is pretty big on contest. But a big thing in Hardpoint in general is to contest. There's so many hardpoints in the game, especially when we get to, you'll see a little more of that in Garrison and things like that, with how hard some of these hardpoints are to hold. And honestly, it's not even hard to hold, it's how hard they are to break at the end of the day. So in a lot of these situations, the best thing you can do for your team is contest while you're rotating. If you can win the contest and deny the other team points while your team gets to rotate off and move through the map and get map control, that is the most important thing you can do, because there's so many hard points, like I just said, that are hard to break, and people just rack up an easy 50, 60 points. But if you can contest for 25, 30 seconds as the lurker, as the OBJ, as the flex, most importantly, that is key to winning every single hardpoint game. Is just contest, contest, contest. That's going to be something I keep preaching as we go through the maps. But yeah, so I'm just kind of filibustering here until we get to the next clip, which is coming up. I'm kind of dominating right now. This is just a great lurker game on my part. I've been playing great with the 7.4U recently. I've been using XM4. That's another big one. There should really only be one Krig user on the map at the time, except occasionally Checkmate is good with two, depending on how the other team is playing. But yeah, so XM4, AK7.4U, all great classes. As you can see here, I'm pushing through. I'm looking for these kills, trying to pick these players up, trying to get info. See, I see him out or call it, and obviously I'm going to go down here. But yeah, so we're going to hop into Garrison, which is, first thing we're going to do is I believe these are P3 spawns. Yes, so obviously it's just this back warehouse. You got to watch caution. I'm just checking on Hardpoint, but that's not really a big deal. The two biggest spots, somebody should be watching caution on your team, is this outer building right here, is the loading building. That's the biggest one, in mid are the two hardest, because everyone's going to be pushing caution, everyone's going to be pushing front, and there's going to be one player, it's normally the lurker or it's the AR anchor pushing through, that are looking to pick up the anchor off the back of the map and flank through. So those are the two biggest right there. You need to hold loading, you need to hold mid. And honestly, I would just sit in this little warehouse building or sit in the back barrels and just watch for flankers coming in, or if you pick up gunfire or anything like that, you can just basically just push them. And then you'll probably get a free kill, or at least a contested kill and some info. But yeah, so now we're going to P2 spawns, which is up there to the left. You'll see it in 1 second. It's not lights. Lights is P1. P2 is back over there, which is the hardest hardpoint to break on the planet. So if you can get these spawns, you're golden. This is kind of just the OG back spawn. You got lights in mid to take care of, obviously. You're probably going to have someone playing bricks. It's kind of hard, keep in mind, for a team to rotate all the way around through bricks and cobble. So as long as you can get info cobble, which is where I'm looking right now, then you're good to go. And then you got to keep your mid and lights under control. Obviously, that's not even a big deal if you die there, because you can just call out, get your info, and your boys will come clean it up, and hopefully you'll keep the spawn so you don't spawn out. Yeah, we're back into the game here. So Garrison's one of the hardest hard points. I want to talk about that a little bit. Garrison is all spawns. Like, obviously you have those two, and those are the two really main spawn points. You have, obviously, I think there's 5 hard points. There's obviously square, there's loading tank, and then lights. It's lights, and then it's back tank, radar tank, and then back spawn. So yeah, so those are the two main spawn points, but it's all just winning your gunfights and your 1v1s in this. Like, you're not going to get help a lot. Like, it's not going to be team shooting. It's going to be, you need to put yourself in a position to win your gunfights. That's the biggest thing. It's all positioning. At the end of the day, you can have the best shot in the world and be a competitor, because you don't have the map knowledge and you don't have the team play. So, and you can also just have a worse shot than a competitor, but be master, because you're winning every game, because you know exactly where to be at every time, and you can make your bad shot is made up for by just purely winning gunfights that are easy to win. So yeah, especially on Garrison, and that's just holding your spawn. Obviously, everything breaks down is really when shit hits the fan. So people just need to make sure to clean up others' points. You need to rotate throughout the map. Don't just sit in one spot the whole game, especially as a flex or things like that. So we're hopping into Moscow now. Sorry about that. Obviously, this is your back P2. Mid is checkers, where I'm looking right now. That's first P1. P2 is right where I'm looking now, office. So this back building is great to hold it. Most will push through this building to my right, or they'll push through B Street to get into the hard point, which obviously you just have to deny with a Krig. It's easy just to stand up on those windows or push into street if you know there's multiple and kind of catch them off guard. Yeah, mid is normally watched, office is watched. It's just that building with the door to the left, the windows, and the back B Street. This is kind of a hard point to hold, depending on how they're pushed. If the team is a good pushing team, they'll push B Street, they'll push that building, and they'll get a couple flowing through office, and they'll just get you guys looking everywhere, so confused on where to go. Yeah, that's P2. It's not too bad. It's a lot of spots to hold, so it's pretty difficult, but your flex will clean it. And then we're hopping into P3 here, which is obviously back courtyard and back fountain. And this is an easy one. You just hold back library, which is right behind where I'm standing. I'll run through in a second. There's going to be kids pushing up through mid, through elbow, through there. That's going to be a big push, especially through bank, straight ahead. So that's a big hold right there. You can kind of play these doorways with a Krig, and you will probably beat just about anybody in a gunfight except for another Krig if you're low. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, your flex will probably fill in elbow most of the time, and then you'll play your OBJ Slayer will just stay in the middle and hold the hard point, hold front. And it's all info heavy here. Like, AR anchor can just, even if they get killed here, they just have their flex or the lurker rotate, and you can push out those players. This one is honestly a very hard to break one if you can play it properly. But yeah, so that's how you play it. And we're pushing it into, I believe this is P4. Yeah, P4. So then this is like the bank spawn. If you get library or bank, you're kind of golden here. You just want these back spawns for the most part because they're going to push you B Street or try to push Secret, which is Secret's an easy win. You guys probably all know where that is. It's through middle building, up the window. All you have to do here is watch the flank. Kids are going to come up through elbow. They're going to come up through mid and try to push elbow and push back because bus is so important here. It's such a power position up in bus. So you want to hold bus and you want somebody protecting the guy on bus because bus can be an XM4, it can be a Krig, it can be a AK-7 for you, and they're just lasering kids, and it's so hard to see people in that damn bus. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's the biggest thing there. And obviously I'm showing more spawn points, but your basics for AR slayers and lurkers, obviously your OBJ sits, your flex just fills angles. Like you're looking at the angles I'm showing you, and I'm showing you 2-3 angles for every spawn point. Your flex should hold the angle that you're not holding as AR anchor. That's the biggest thing. And then your slayer, depending on how hard the hardpoint is to hold, like you need to figure out the angles you are not covering as anchor, and need to get your slayer and need to get your flex holding those angles. So if it's one angle, you're good, and your flex and your slayer can push through. But if it's 2, 3, you need your people to sit back, and that's when you switch onto ARs and you try to camp it. But yeah, so it's not too bad. Moscow's a pretty fun hard point in my opinion. It's probably, I don't know, it's my Crossroads probably my favorite, but this is definitely close second for sure. But yeah, so we're getting ready to move into, I believe, Raid. Yeah, Raid's another fun hard point, honestly. Great hard point. Obviously, P2 is kitchen. So you want to hold this back. Jungle's a big push. They're going to try to push that spawn with probably 2 players. That's a big push. You can catch them. You can catch them kitchen or catch them pushing jungle right there at the end of the day. And that's the biggest place to at least get the info so your team knows to rotate off and do it. And you'll probably have your flex holding your cutout, so you don't have to worry about your pool side. You got obviously your Slayer and your OBJ running around money in the mid areas, and they can kind of control that, especially with SMGs if you play the right angles. So yeah, this is kind of simple. We're going to P3, which is garage. Garage is really simple hold. You just kind of sit in the back, throw your trophy system down, crouch, just ADS the whole time, holding the angle, get your boys to hold every other angle. This one's super angle holding. Just about probably 3 out of the 4 players will be sitting in. Your lurker will probably push zigzag and try to get kids coming through art and coming around pool side. So yeah, you just kind of got to hold here. This one's like the spawn is in the hard point pretty much, so just hold that. You're good to go. And then obviously P4 is basketball, so it's the same situation as last time. You just got to hold the back jungle, and in reality you should have someone holding money, or your lurker should be at least be rotating through money and catch and keep people who are trying to push through money and push through pool. Your OBJ and your flex will be looking pool, and then you kind of all you have to do is hold that back jungle side through like this little tree. You can just sit on this tree heady with the Krig, and you are just about lasering any single player that comes through there, and as long as someone has your money, you're never going to get touched for the rest of the game. So yeah, that's pretty simple hold as well. Basketball is really tough to break, one of the hardest ones for sure, so definitely be sure to rotate early on this one. So another big thing I want to talk about is rotation times. You want to rotate early in this game because of how hard hills are to break. You want to rotate early. So like I said, you send 1 or 2 to contest, just like I said, and then the rest you want to send. So 20 seconds, 25, 20 seconds, you send 2. You send your flex and you send your lurker, and they're trying to just pick up kills in the oppo spawn, trying to win that oppo spawn and trying to just hold it for as much as they can, at least to give your team a fighting chance. And then when you're down to like 15, 20 seconds, depending on how well you're holding, if you're not holding at all, the 30, 25 seconds dip. Get 3 out. Anchor just dips out. Anchor dips if you're holding the hard point 25 or 20 to 15 seconds. Air Anchor tries to win off of what the Slayers were doing and just pick the spawn off of what the Slayers are doing. They just push straight for that spawn. If there's somebody on it, they spray them off. Got to win that spawn, but hopefully your Slayers already have them dead. Yeah, so we're going to hop into the last map here. It is Checkmate. It is a pretty simple hold. This is the yellow crate hold. This one is so tough to break. Obviously, you got to watch the people pushing through mid. You need your lurker to run through underplane in that area because those kids are going to push yellow crate and push that side really easily. There's also going to be big flankers coming in through the left side here. This is where your flex holds broken plane right in front of where I was looking, and you have one on OBJ, and then your lurker's just running the hell around. Because this spawn is so hard to hold, because if you die back, you're gonna get broken immediately, and they're gonna push through. So this is definitely a big contest. You can just sit in yellow crate where I'm looking right now. Sit in yellow crate, and it's an easy contest, and you just have to ADS through crate. And unless they come around behind you, you kind of got a winnable gunfight. So next we got P5 or Yeah, 5, P5. So that next two are just underplaying, and then on the left side where I'm looking right now, so you don't need spawns for those. But P5 is back wood and beginning spawn entry area, so you want to hold wood. Your flex should be holding wood, frankly. If you have, in a dream scenario, you have your lurker underplaying, you have your flex holding wood, and then you have your OBJ sitting on, obviously. But here you're just trying to watch the flankers once again. Like, you sit this left side, you aim to the left, your flex is going to pick up your info. They're probably going to push middle underplaying and things like that with the XM4s and things like that. They'll try to beat the 7.4Us that are sitting on point, which is why you want your Slayer sitting underplaying so they can lurk and pick up those kills so those kids not realizing he's there. But yeah, the biggest thing here is just hold your spawn. You're probably not going to get a gunfight here if your team's playing well enough, but if you do, you got key gunfights to win because your team will spawn out and it'll be a shit show. This freaking whole hard point right now is kind of a shit show on that hill, so it's not that big of a deal, but that's the spawn to hold if you're anchor. So yeah, that was the video, boys. I hope you all enjoyed. Pretty in-depth this time. I hope you guys got some information out of it, especially those who are struggling in Hardpoint. I feel like I've been playing a great Hardpoint. I've been winning it at a high rate. It's like the most common mode and has so many maps to offer. So it's a big thing. So yeah, if there's any questions, leave them in the comments. If you guys want a call-out video, because I know I was using a lot of like pro call-outs, just drop it in the comments. I'll do a call-out video, or you can look it up. There's like a million people who have dropped call-out videos because everyone wants to know the call-outs. But yeah, so that's that. Hope you all enjoyed. This game was pretty solid. But yeah. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye-bye.